Hiya, welcome, come on in. It's just me, Kerry, here to talk about another movie that I've seen recently. So come on in, grab a cup of tea, and let's chat about Expendables 4. Yeah, so last night I went to go and see the fourth in the Expendables franchise. Now, if you've never heard of Expendables, and there may be a couple of you haven't, it's an action movie franchise starring Sylvester Stallone and Jason Statham, about a group of mercenaries who go blow stuff up, kill a few bad guys, and save the world. And that's pretty much what happens in number 4. So this movie, which is directed by Simon War. I maybe put the spelling up so you can see, just in case I've butchered his name. But anyway, Simon War, who, by the way, also has the film Hidden Strike coming out also this year with Jackie Chan and John Cena. Anyway, he's directed the fourth Expendables movie. And what you've got is you've got the Expendables all together, and something bad happens and they have to go and kill the bad guys and save the world again. Pretty much a standard action fair. Yeah, and I can't give too much away because there are some bits and bobs that you might find to be a spoiler. So there you go. We've got Sylvester Stallone back, we've got Jason Statham back, we've got the UFC ex-champion Randy Couture back. You've also got some new faces. So you've got 50 Cent, you've got Megan Fox, Levi Tran, Tony Jaa, and Iko Uwais, who I was very excited about seeing, but more about him in just a moment. So the old guard, yes, Sylvester is back. You couldn't really have this movie without him. This was his baby in the first place. But I would have to say this is probably Jason Statham's film, who plays Lee Christmas, kind of the second in command. This is definitely his film. So if you're a fan of Statham, you are going to love this movie. The new guys, the newcomers, so we've got Megan Fox and Levi Tran, who are female Expendables. Now, I'm really sorry, guys. I just have to put this out there. I don't get the whole Megan Fox thing. I don't know. I just don't get it. I mean, she's very beautiful. Don't get me wrong. She's gorgeous looking. But as an actress, I just didn't buy it. And as an action star, I mean, I haven't seen some of the other films that she's done where she is taking on a more like action-led role. But this one, I just didn't buy it. Just didn't believe it whatsoever. I mean, even the costumes when they went into like on their missions, they were dressed like S&M models. It was ridiculous. I mean, so, you know, I like my action stars. If you're going to have someone, I much preferred Ronda Rousey in number 3. I know that was a bit of a controversial thing, but she's a badass and I loved her. So that's the sort of female action that I get into. Now, that isn't to say that it's all bad, because Levi Tran, who you may recognise if you ever watched the reboot series of MacGyver, she played Desi, she's in this. Now, not a lot of screen time. She's not, one of the main characters. But when she does get to show what she can do, she's brilliant. And I would have preferred her probably to be the main female actor in this movie. But, you know, it is what it is. She's not in it for a long time, but she does get to show some skills in the little bit that you do see. Now, talking about underused, Iko Uwais is the bad guy. He plays Ramet, who everyone is out to try and kill. Try being the operative word. Now, I love Iko. Ever since I've seen The Raid, I have just been in awe of him. But I just don't feel Hollywood know how to use him. They just don't. The TV series with Assassins, they should have been so much more. And he does get to show some skills, both in that and this film. But without trying to give too much away, he does have a couple of different fight scenes. You just know he can do more. And I really don't think Hollywood have really figured him out yet. And therefore, if you want to see a film, a more American film anyway, with him in, I would thoroughly recommend the film Triple Threat, which also stars another star for Expendables 4, Tony Jaa. So Tony Jaa, I never quite sure how to say it, so I apologise. But he's also in this movie. Again, he does get to show his skills and his martial arts expertise. Again, I just don't know. I think if you've got stars like Tony Jaa and Iko Uwais and you are not giving them their full sort of potential. They're just wasted. And I think if you don't know who they are, this is going to give you maybe a taste of what they can do. But like I said, films like Triple Threat, or go back and watch The Raid for Iko Uwais. He's brilliant, okay? So yeah, go and watch their earlier films if you want to get a really good idea of what they're like, because you get a little bit, but just not enough in this movie. Now, the movie is 104 minutes, so it's not massively long. You've got some really good set pieces. Normally, at the beginning of Expendables films, you always get a really good stunt thing, and here is no exception. I don't know, I was just a little disappointed, and that's sad because I'm a massive action film fan. Like, seriously. The 80s cheesy stuff that you used to get with Arnie over to the new sort of breed of action film that you get, like John Wick and Extraction and things like that. I love them. I think there's nothing wrong with watching a movie where you're just entertained and people are like, you know, heads cutting off and explosions going and, you know, but I just think now with the new breed of action film like John Wick and Extraction, like I mentioned, you know, people can do so much more. And I feel like in this particular film, there's a bit of a more reliance on CGI, which is not bad. You know, I've nothing against CGI, but just in this one, there was a couple of bits where actually it was too obvious it was CGI and it made me wince a little. And I'm not normally a snob about things like that, but there you go. And also as well, yeah, the fighting scenes, there were a couple of good fight scenes, like I said, but I don't know, maybe my expectation was just a little too high. Having such great martial arts experts like Iko and Tony, and also Jason as well. I mean, Jason's no mug. He's really good. And a lot of people do talk about his work ethic and his skill and stuff like that. So, I don't know. Maybe I was expecting a little bit too much. I just don't think anything has ever passed the first movie. The first Expendables movie is a cut above. It was an amazing movie, you know, and I know the last film people weren't too happy with it because the introduction of the new guys and also making it a 12A obviously didn't sit well with a lot of people. Here we're back to a 15, so we have got a lot of blood, a lot of guts, a lot of gore, which is great for an action film fan like myself. I love that stuff. But yeah, it just didn't deliver the massive punch I think I was expecting, and it's a bit of a shame. Another big thing, just personally for me, no Terry Crews. I was really disappointed there was no Terry Crews. I love that guy, and they don't even mention what happened to him, okay? So I kind of was a little bit disappointed. Terry Crews just brings that little something to it, but, you know, as a film overall, do you know what? I was debating whether to give it a 6 or 7. I'm kind of in the middle, probably breaking my own rules. I should give half points, but yeah, about 6.5 out of 10 for this film. It's, like I said, not a long movie. It's got a couple of really good pieces. The jokes are okay. Some hit, some don't, but, you know, it is what it is. I wouldn't go in expecting anything to the standard of recent films like John Wick 4 and Extraction 2. I keep going to those franchises, but they have just given us something that goes beyond just action flicks now, and I think that's it. I think we've kind of evolved, and maybe in my head that's what I'm kind of wanting out of my movies now. But as entertainment, okay, I'm not necessarily saying go see it at the cinema, but if it comes out on streaming, it's definitely going to be something that will keep you entertained. Okay, so that's me. Blimey, I've managed to keep it just below 10 minutes of me talking. I'm going to go finish my tea. I'm going to go get ready for the day. Guys, have a wonderful rest of the week, and hopefully there'll be another video coming up soon.